The stately homes of England have always played host to a social calendar. They're a wonderful setting for the set pieces of our national life. Aristocrats love to do it. And people, well, sometimes one would think every society worth its salt in the UK wants to be by royal appointment, WRVS, Royal Antediluvian Order of the Buffalo. The Queen is a member of the WI. Freemasons have as a master the Duke of Kent. So it is the noble Earl, whose pile this is, the Earl of St. Germans, has given his field this day to the honourable company of which he's an honorary officer. It's not the honourable company of cutlers, but this bunch are all in a livery of a kind. It's a lovely spot for these individuals to hold their annual Southwest picnic. Round the Earl's trees they wheeled themselves in. Look at this. Harley Davidson Riders Club. Strictly members only. Other riders, Triumph, Suzuki, Honda, BSA, be off. The weather was very nice.
Very nice.
And for reasons really to do with Hell's Angels, entry to the Earl's Field was strictly scrutinised. There's tickety taboo as at the Queen's garden party. Only the known can pitch their tent and share a portable deck chair with the committee man in charge, a joiner called Tim.
It's basically a club which gathers together all enthusiasts for Harley Davidson, all riding together, having parties together, just enjoying life together as a club.
We get the club magazine every month. Good bunch of guys to go party with, like. You can go up at the rally, see the same old boys every time sort of thing, plus loads of new people. They all got different ideas and opinions on bikes and why they put their bikes together and all the things they do to their bikes.
There's no compulsion to join at all, but people find after a while that because they've got a common interest in the bike, and they like to belong to a club and just partake in the social events, because it's the events that make the club hold together.
We're affiliated to all the European clubs, and there are, I don't know, 20 or 30 European clubs altogether. Some people, like, they put all and every effort into it, like, you know. Some people live, eat and breathe the club, like, you know. But it's the same old thing, what you put in, you get out, like, you know.
I'm surprised that they want a club at all. You should be able to just have
there's
a Harley and be free.
It's a wonderful feeling riding even 3 Harleys together. If it's 33, that's infinitely better, and 103 altogether. It's just the most sublime feeling. So if that's the end, you know, it might just be that reason, just to ride together.
Yeah. But what every member must possess is the bike. They're American-built in Milwaukee by the small American company founded in 1903 by a Mr. Harley and 3 Davidson brothers, who were all of British stock.
I've always wanted one. My father drove one back in the 30s for a while. It's just something agricultural about it. It's almost like an animal as opposed to a piece of machinery. Something you have to look after, nurture. If you drive a jack bike, okay, it handles well, it brakes well, does everything else superbly probably. But you don't get the same sort of feedback from it. Riding one of those great lumps, it doesn't handle particularly well, and you have to be careful what you do with the brakes because they're not that good.
British ancestry? I suppose if motorbikes were horses, surely a Harley would be the heavy Shire horse, the Clydesdale, an agricultural animal.
It's a wonderful thing to ride a Harley. Have you ever ridden one?
No.
Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about.
I've never ridden a motorbike of any sort.
That's to your...
But I've never been in the Women's Institute.
Well, that has nothing in common.
No.
Riding motorcycles is most
golf.
wonderful freedom.
Is it?
Yes, you've got no idea how free you feel, how independent of all rules, frankly. Traffic rules, any rules. You can do what the hell you like on a bike. Go where you like.
And the machine has, I mean, it has like this little motto on it, doesn't it?
It's live to ride, a way of life, which is true. We all enjoy our motorcycling. It's a very predominant part of our life.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's what holds you together.
Yeah, that's it.
But what's special about a Harley Davidson? Why couldn't it be a British bike or a Japanese? I mean, is there something special? The fact that they make them look old, or the ride of it, or the...
It's the feel of it. It's the feel of it.
Yeah.
To understand it, you'll have to experience it.
Sit on the back.
That's it. You ready for
An
it?
invitation.
Why not?
I'm not ready for it at all, but I'll see how we go on. It's this you put on, isn't it?
That's it. You got it.
I should be able to do this. Now, how'd you get on?
Right. To get on. Yep, that's it. Step across there.
What do I hold on to? The back?
Yep, the back will be fine. Back will be fine.
I wish these people weren't looking at a Wally. I wish me...
You look good, don't you?
Well, I wish my jacket was not pink, but there we are.
You ready?
Right.
Let's go for it then. Hold on tight.
What to?
Okay? Right. Let's go.
It's not speedway speed, but fast enough for me.
Should get a nice echo as we go through the bridge here now.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, it's the bends. An agricultural animal. The bends frighten me. Great lump between your legs. Oh, very, very frightened. 40. Slow to 30. I lean the opposite way to you, is that right?
You should lean with me, but you're not a particularly heavy person, so it doesn't matter too much.
Designed to impress on the Queen's Highway. Aggo and me.
How you feeling, okay?
I feel all right, yeah. It is very frightening. You're very exposed. You've got to be a sort of real man to do this. I wish they'd slow down a bit, though, because it's a bend. You feel very lonely when you're on your own. It must be a lot better when there's 3 or 4 of you out, all riding together.
Both is nice. It's nice to have company, and sometimes it's nice to be by yourself.
Right.
Quite enough just to go for a ride, be part of the environment, smell the air.
Have a touch of both.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
Here's another one of these bends.
I enjoy the Harley.
But there is something extra special about Harley, isn't there? Because of the not just the bike, but the style that goes with it.
Yeah, that's right. To me, there is something special. It's the machine I like, the machine I enjoy.
And it's the machine that seems to, symbolise something else as well. A lifestyle of
That's right.
freedom par excellence. Very few of the people on the field are sort of dressed like bank clerks.
Well,
I mean, they're all dressed like rebels.
during the week they may be dressed like bank clerks.
Yeah.
But when you ride a motorcycle, you need to dress accordingly.
Now, somebody said that if you take your hat off, that you get a buzz in your head. Oh, yeah. Nice. It's a nice feeling.
Well, you're smiling now.
Fat Boy, Heritage Softail. The factory gate names of these bikes, they're like jukeboxes on wheels. And the members at the rally are here to admire one another's chromium, but they're also here to look each other up and down. It's a fact of life that wherever you get 2 or 3 people together, you get factions. We had 12 apostles and there were 4 gospels. When the Methodists split from the Church of England, they quickly divided into Primitive and Wesleyan. So it is with the Harley-Davidson bikers on this field. There are factions. There are those who just buy the bike to enjoy, and those who invest into the very maintenance of the machine, a deeper meaning of life. Are there 2 kinds of Harley-Davidson riders? Those who buy the bikes and those like you?
Well, there's millions of them, really, and every one of them is different, but if you want to categorise people, I suppose there's some people that just buy them and ride them every day to work and back, and ride them weekends, ride them whenever they got the chance. There's 1 or 2, but that's like the same with any bike or car or anything. They look at the pond as an investment, and although they get a kick out of that, you can't seem to get your money's worth out of a bike standing in the garage looking pretty without actually taking it out and giving it a good thrash.
At the moment, Harleys are really trendy. I've never known them to be so fashionable, and that is bringing in the sort of designer jeans brigade. But those people, their interest is so shallow that they don't last long, they don't fit in, they either come here and don't like sharing the limelight, which is why they bought the bike, or they just get the cold shoulder, because here you're being judged by your peers. In the club, a lot of people that I know of years gone by, they sacrificed to get their bikes, whereas the shallow people, they usually had enough money that it was an indulgence. Last year it was a ready restored MGB, and this year it was something on 2 wheels. Next year they'll be on to the latest BMW.
Judged by your peers. Not just for riding skills, but way of life. For leathers, facial hair, the ability to quaff cans of lager. Outside the Elliott Arms, no one wanted to appear a shallow person, but it's hard to tell who's shallow, who's deep.
Okay, today you have the choice of the chocolate centenary, trifle, strawberry, chocolate mousse, apple pie, or strawberry gâteau.
Choose this way.
Right. Where is it, Olivier?
It's in a container. Yeah,
Yes?
The safest place I found, yeah. Yeah.
Under lock and key.
Oh, yeah, definitely under the lock and key, yeah.
Night and day.
Night and day, and my flat is just above here.
So you can watch it.
Yeah, and if anybody was trying to break in, the dogs, I got 2 dogs, and they will hear the noise, and yeah. That's one of the safest places to put a bike, is really a container. There you are.
Oh, there's 2. Oh, look. What's your excuse? Why did you decide on a Harley?
I wanted one since I was 10 years old. My grandfather had an Harley.
Your granddad?
Yeah, in the 1940s, he had a WA. Yeah.
What, in France?
Yeah, in France, in Brittany, yeah. And both my father and mother as well had motorbike. And one of my uncle had an Harley as well in 1950s, a dual glide. And since then I always wanted one.
But you've got soft hands. I mean, you've got cook's hands. I mean, nice fingernails, aren't they? Beautifully clean. You can take a bike to bits?
Yes, I do, yes. Yes.
Yourself?
Yeah, you have to anyway, you know, to get the cost down. And yeah, I can do every 6 months I do my maintenance myself, like the oil change. I've done the chain change, plugs, filters, oil filters, all the bolts and nuts to be tightened. You do all that yourself, yes. Just a question to nicely clean it after if I go back in a restaurant, really.
Right. What's the attraction of riding it?
The attraction of, well, Harley or motorbike in general?
Harley.
It's a way of life. It's, you know, just something you'll dream of. Like some people will be an American car, like a Corvette, and they dream of a Corvette. And as soon as you own a Harley, or like in England, we go to rally or we go for meeting, you imagine yourself in USA, you know. You can imagine yourself, you know, like with a kind of American music and going along the highway.
And so we're off. On the highway. This bunch off to do what?
Head out on the highway.
Off to bite the heads off chickens? Or as it was put by the Earl of St. Germans, to have the most sublime feeling.
Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. I like smoke and lightning. Heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under. Yeah, I gotta go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild.
On the beach at Corsand, why is it they do strike a certain image, which to some extent they perpetuate? They're the only ones wearing leather, the so-called free, the only ones in what resembles a uniform. It's always been a loose alliance, Britain and the USA. But rock and roll and West Country cream teas, well, there's no reason they can't go together.
They look terrifying. They never cause any trouble here. In fact, they often, get letters from the chief constable saying, how nice it was to have you in our county and how well you behaved.
When you put your legs across the Harley to the world, you're different.
That's their impression.
It's a special
Yeah,
bike.
that's what they think, yeah.
It's a special look.
They're victims of their own paranoia to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, well, I've had you get in the earlier down the road, and the favourite trick is you get in the van and you just bumble down in the van and you get little old biddies walking across with the kiddies across the pavement, and they just don't take a blind bit of notice of you and they walk across. You come down on the bike making lots of noise. They grab their kids and drag them across the road, as if you're going to rip their heads off.
We've been lucky in some respects in the fact that because we're a member of this club and we've strived to uphold our image as a clean, sort of honest bike club, then we have raised ourselves above, in some respects, the bad type of image that normally goes around. But there's always the people, the minority, that would see a group of bikers going through town and immediately think the worst. And we still get some public house owners that refuse a service.
Most of the guys you've seen at this rally have got facial hair. Yeah. I mean, in terms of moustache, big beard. Most of them wear leathers, but it's just part of the scene. It's all practical as well. I mean, leather trousers protect you if you fall off. A leather jacket does the same. Things like that. I mean, it's practical as well, but it does sort of go into sort of fashion as well.
But the moustache is not practical, is it? I mean, that's a bit of...
Oh, it is practical. It keeps my top lip warm when I'm going along on the bike,
Do the others know you don't drink?
Yeah, it's surprising. There's a lot of people I do know that ride bikes don't drink. And some of them some evil-looking creatures. You think it's drug-abusing, womanising yippies and stuff, and they turn out to be quite the exact opposite, actually. Sort of people that don't drink, they don't smoke, nice to animals and kind of little old ladies, but that doesn't make them a different person at the end of the day.
Right.
The Clay brothers used to dress up nice and smart. Didn't make them nice people, did it?
No.
And the Yorkshire Ripper probably wore a tie as well, so... just about like didn't ride an Harley Davidson, isn't it?
The Harley Davidson riders on the Earl's estate, they come up to the village and use the pub, don't they?
Yes, that's right. Yes, they do. Yes, every year they come. They have an annual event every year.
Are they trouble?
No trouble at all.
Really?
Really. The bikes are not the quietest in the world, but they're beautiful bikes, and they're very pleasant people.
But they're
always
hairy.
polite.
They look fearsome, some of them.
Well, I suppose so.
Rebellious.
Different.
Yes.
Yes, different. That's all right.
But no trouble.
Never any trouble. No. More trouble from the locals than we get from them.
Oh, we always have trouble from the locals, don't we? Some drank, but some drank like boo. A lot of orange juice. Wild ones, growing old disgracefully. Well, Marlon Brando's a granddad now.
Obviously, when the membership application is sent in, there's a small amount of research just to see if the person is, you know, a sort of type we'd like in the club.
What do you mean, sort of type?
That's a bit of a leading question.
Well, of course it is, yeah.
But yeah, obviously, if somebody's got some kind of record or some person that's got some past history of causing any sort of trouble, then obviously it's not going to bring a good name on the club if they get involved and then cause trouble for us.
Do you have to be careful in the club that you don't get invaded by people who are really rough, just interested in being rough? Hell's Angels, Satan's Slaves.
I think the outlaw clubs, they keep themselves to themselves. You don't get any aggravation at the club, those. Most people are on a level, and they got nothing to prove. Occasionally you might get one or two, but they don't go far. You might get a skirmisher, you get that anywhere. Get that in your average nightclub every week. So in the 10 years I've been in the club, I don't think I've seen more than a couple of scuffles, and that was about it. And that was from non-members then.
There are members in this club that were former backpack wearers,
Satan's Slaves or
Angels or whatever.
Yeah.
But they just want to ride around on their bikes without all the commitments that the back patch club would want.
People who clean their act up come to you.
Could say that, yeah.
Very peaceful. Some shoot each other with water pistols, and some snore together on their blankets on the ground. But Girl Guides do that.
Very nice way to spend the weekend, actually. I mean, you can see how people are, you know, they wander around in twos and threes and gather around a bike and then move off. It's just very calm, pleasant weekend.
The Earl of St. Germans should know. His Grace, or Perry as the bikers call him, hosted travellers once, and these are not they. His lawns on Tuesday will be clean as a pin. They're duster trained, these boys. These bikes, you see, with customised accessories at 10 grand a piece. 100 of them on the Earl's field. It's 1 million knickers worth of merchandise. Merchandise? Way of life. We live to ride. It's a dream. Cowboys out on the range, barbecuing while their herds of Harleys graze.
Gee, anyone want a fried egg?
You ain't got fried eggs.
Attached to my veggie burger.
There's grass, vegetarian.
The veggie burger won't kill you, the grass certainly won't.
No, that's it. It's all green.
Is this just a bike, Boo, or is it a bit of you?
Oh, it's an obsession, I think. So therefore it must end up as a bit of me.
Do you have a car?
Yes.
What car?
Just an anonymous Astra for work. Just utilitarian transport to earn enough money to cosset my Harley. Cosset my passion. This is what it is, it's my passion.
The emphasis is on cosset. Cosset and nurture. It's been a lovely weekend. Now it's time to go. Leave a dream out west with your own chosen tribe. It's time to make the trail home. Put the panniers back on your passion and back to being a bank clerk, to serve in the restaurant, to be behind the counter of a shop. Come on, Rover. The weekend's over. Time to saddle that animal, agricultural animal, and ride the beast home.